Well, good morning, quirky birders. It's Lynn here, and welcome to episode 1 of your daily art challenge. So all of this week we are going to be painting our lovely little whimsical design, Bunny Hill. It's done in a completely different style to anything that we've worked on before. It's a little bit different in its composition, and there's an awful lot of negative space around the picture. So things like the hills behind the houses here, I've just left the paper, and again all in the foreground here where we've got the little robin and we've also got the little rabbits. That again is all just in negative space. So I've got my myself all ready with regards to my paper. I've got a sheet of A4 paper that I've taped to my board, but then I've also taped a second border, and when it's sat within a nice large frame, once that mount is in place, the image is literally just going to be in this section here. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to draw in our little composition of Bunny Hill. And to do that, we're going to make a start by just putting in the first little house, because that first little house is probably the main focal point of our little picture. So it's very, very simple. All you need to do is just draw in a little square. Now keep your edges just nice and rounded, and that just adds to the whimsicalness of the little picture. So I've got my roof, and then I'm just going to put in the walls of the house, like so. Let's put in a couple of chimneys either side on the roof. And then from this bottom corner of our little house, I'm just going to put in just some nice rounded shapes that are going to be our little bushes. So just take those up the side like that. And then you can just bring that house back down again. So our little house has a little tree by the side of it. So again, just in that lovely rounded manner, we will just put in the tree. And then I'm just going to just tidy up those edges on my little roof. And then we'll pop in a stronger line on the chimneys. Now, of course, you do not have to do your lines as bold as I'm doing mine, because obviously you can be a little bit softer with yours. I'm just going that little bit harsher so it picks up on the camera. And then that's our little hedge line put in there with that house. So the next thing we need to do is just put in our little roadway. So we'll bring a sweeping roadway just down this way, and again we'll just come in the other side too. Like so. And then we need to put in our second little house, and our second little house just sits a little bit further forward than this one. So our second little house is going to sit here. So we've got it on the gable end, so I'm going to start by just putting in the chimney, and then we'll pop in the roof. It's got a little bit off there, so I'll just get rid of that line. We can put a little lean-to porch on the back of this little house. And a couple of little chimney pots. And then we need to take the line of this house away. So the roof line is going to head off in that direction. So let's just pop that roof line in. And then also bring that line down there as well. Round off those edges so it's got that same sort of whimsical style as your first little house. Again, we'll just round those edges off there as well. We need to put a second little chimney on this house. And then put in that wall. Now in the front of this house we've got a couple of trees, and the trees are just that little bit abstract. They're just a nice teardrop shape, so we just need to put in our little trees. So we'll come almost like a little poplar tree really. And just put that nice teardrop shape in, and its trunk. And you'll notice that I've just then rubbed away the corner of that roof. So that sits quite nicely now. What we can now do is just extend that roadway up to the gable of that little house. We'll be putting a little fence, a little picket fence along here, so I'll be adding that in with some ink detail. So I'm just going to put a very, very faint line for reference of where we're going to be painting to. You could put a second little tree if you wanted to. So let's put a second tree along this roadway here. So we'll put that trunk in. And again, it's just going to be like a little sweeping sort of poplar type tree. So I'll just take that overlap away where that other one like so. We can put in a couple of windows, so we can put in like a little window here at the side. And then we'll just pop another smaller one in just underneath. Like so. Like I say, the picket fence will run along here, and then we can also probably just put a couple of whimsical shapes for a little bush. And then we can take that line out and then just put a nice rounded, softer edge of the bush on that roadway. Like so. And then we just need to put in the hills and the background. So our little hills are coming over the back of the house. So we'll just put in one. And then we'll go back the other way, we'll overlap. Put in a second one. And then where these two hills meet, we're going to put in a couple of more little poplar trees. So we're just going to put in those little sort of leaf shapes. And we'll put 3 in. And they need to be smaller in size as they go. So let's just reduce that one down slightly. And again, we'll put in a final one, just a little small one. Like that. Okay, and then we need to put in a second layer of hills. So these are going to be coming from your little trees. So I'll just put in a second wavy line. That's looking really rather nice. So let's just put in some windows on this little cottage. And the sills. Let's just put those window bars in. And again, just some little windows down below. You could put a door in actually in the centre. That would look quite nice. Just put those sills in. And then we need to just work in this foreground here. And what we need to do is we just need to draw in our little bunnies. So we're going to have two little bunnies here looking down the hill, and we're also going to have some little foliage plants as well, and a little robin. So we'll put our little bunnies in first, and the bunnies are going to be out of proportion because the bunnies are going to be sat in the foreground. So we're going to start with the ears on the top of the head, and then you want some nice rounded cheeks of your little bunny, and then just come round with a big bottom. Put in his little tail, and that's your little bunny. And we can do two of those, so we'll do another one by the side of him. So again, just nice fluffy ears. Obviously these will look completely different when they're painted up. And big bottom. And then his tail. And then you can just mark out as a suggestion where your little plants are going to be. So you're just going to put some little seeds, little seed heads, like so. And then we'll put some more seed heads this side. And we'll pop those little basins at the bottom of those, so we can know where we're going to be putting our little seeds. And then in this little bottom corner, you'll be able to just draw a little robin. Give him his little bandy legs. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do with regards to your drawing. It just needs to be set out quite roughly, but your main focus is just its whimsical way with regards to its hills, the placement of the little cottages, and then in the foreground we just need to be putting in our little bunnies, placing where you're going to be putting your little seed heads, and then drawing your little robin as well. So that's pretty much it for episode 1. Take some time with your drawing and make sure that you are happy with it. You can rub out, that's not a problem at all, but just be mindful that this is going to remain just white paper, as is this side here, as is all of this. So you don't want that sort of smudgy, sort of charcoal mess happening with your painting. So you need to be a little bit careful with your rubbing out. But other than that, just work on your drawings, and I will see you all again for episode 2 tomorrow. Enjoy. Bye bye.